Welcome to Straight Talk with your host, Patty Foster.
Your word is worth more than money. Rosa tells me about a story that some of you may be aware of, but I think this time, as she tells more details, it'll probably help you better imagine what she's saying. So step back in time with us. Go back to the 40s at Auschwitz and be a prisoner there through Rosa Blum.
I tell you, I got back from the hospital. The last tape that I had, you'll have it. And then as I got back from the hospital, I promised the woman I will never return to see her because that she asked me. But she did more than she asked me about me to give her my promise that I will not return. I learned a lot out of there. Somehow I learned that a word is more than money. If you get a word, and I learned from there, and I kept it through my life. If somebody gave me their word, and if they didn't kept it, the person I lost. I had a new weapon for living my life decently. And I remember returning. I never returned anymore. And I looked for her, but I could never find her again. But I got, when I went back to my barrack, the hospital was number 15. But I came from number 29, and I returned to 29. We didn't have food to eat. I was very hungry. The food they gave us is one loaf of bread. I believe it weighed 2 pounds or two, cut in 8 and 16 pieces. A 16 piece of one loaf of bread. That was our daily supply. The soup, she always told me, do not go to the front. Go the last one, because they may beat you up, and then you get beaten up for a little food. It's not worth it. So always get the last fifth one. By getting to be the last person in the line, the fifth one, I got nothing in the bucket. There was only to leak out the bucket. But I got very hungry. And then I sat down one day in my hunger, pain, and I kind of thought back to my hometown. I come from a little country town. I remember the cows going out to eat in the morning and coming back at night. And I thought, if cows eat grass and they live, they are just like human. They have blood. You cut them, the blood circulates. And so if they can live with grass, why can I not? So I set out to find a little grass. But there was not much grass to be found because there was a small area and there was 45,000 inmates. But I find the roots. I used to take the roots, clean them off, and chew on the roots. But then suddenly out of nowhere, I discovered the area behind the kitchen. Grass was growing. It was an area that nobody was allowed to go in or out. It was just around the kitchen, and there was grass growing. So I used to wait till in the afternoon. And in the afternoon, when everybody was settled back with a little food, a little nourishment, and the streets were kind of empty, I used to go in and get myself a handful of grass, and that was my daily supply of food. It did well. I chewed on it, and I ate it. It was pretty filling. I mean, it took the hunger strike off. But then one day, I got there, and one woman was running away from inside. And I said, Are you running away? She said, they are tattooing the people inside, and I have a sister. Do you have any sisters? She asked me, do you got a sister? I said, no, you are by yourself. And she had a rope and a dress, and she threw it on me. And I knew better. I couldn't run away because it was on me. So I took the rope and I put on the rope, and it was too long. But the woman, when she discharged me from hospital, gave me a second dress that I was carrying on my waist. And with that one, I tied my rope, my apron up, and I was able to walk in to the kitchen. I walked in, and as I walked in, I heard somebody said, if you don't, you exchange yourself with somebody, don't give your phony name. Give me your name. I still remember her regular name. Her name, the name she gave me, it was a different name altogether. I don't think it's important. I won't call it out. But anyway, I didn't use the phony name. I used my own. And I got checked in and tattooed. I was working in the kitchen. 45,000 people. I was 15 and I was a kitchen girl. Oh my God. How did he got me in there? The rounds were so artistically done. You couldn't imagine it yourself. I couldn't have worked something that magical out in all my life than I was worked in, to work in the kitchen. 45,000 people, and I am working in the kitchen. 200 people work in the kitchen. I'm a kitchen girl. I work in the kitchen. And the German woman came up to me and she asked me, she says, how old are you? I looked at her and I said, 18. Because I thought that's how old you have to be to work. She looked at me, she shook her head, and she says, you are 18, and walked away. But the papers didn't say 18. The papers said 15. And I was so scared what I have done. If she ever catches me, what is she going to do to me? I had a hard time sleeping, but I said, I didn't say no more. Next day, I walked back in the kitchen to work. The German woman looks for me and she says, where is my 18-year-old one? She never called me by my name. She always called me 18. In her own way, I think she respected me for me choosing to live instead of dying. Or whatever it was she never called me by my name. By not calling me by my name, she had a chain on her neck, and that chain had a little key. And that key opened up one door, and that door was 50 pounds of powder and sex. She had me pick one of these sacks up. She didn't have let nobody go in with her in the room except me. I always used to walk in with her. I guess I was no danger to her being younger than I was. She let me go in with her in the room, pick up the sack and bring it out. Then she had set up outside 2 people. They took some of that powder out. One of them took by 4 or 5 pounds of that powder out, put it in the cooking pot, and the second girl mixed it in. And we went from one pot to the next, till the 25 pounds burping. I was so happy. More flour got into food. And the first day, everybody just looked at me like crazy. But then the second day, everybody started laughing whenever I said, I I was happy because I was able to help put more flour into the food. But I said to myself, why are they laughing? Nobody likes to be laughed at. And I was laughed at. I didn't like the idea of being laughed at. So I set out to find out. There was no flour. It was control powder. And I was the one who was holding the sack to put it in. But there was nothing I could do or change it. I did it the whole time I was working in Auschwitz in the kitchen. And I already knew. Sometime I tried to wash some of it under the brick, but it didn't help. It was nothing I could do about it. I just had to let it go and mix it in. It hurt very bad, because I knew whenever you ate some of that food, you didn't need much. The hunger was broken very quick. And then hallucination came to some of them. Some of them ran to the fences, some of them cried, some of them reacted different a lot, and all the people. And I kept on watching that. I was very hurt, but there was very little that I could do. I never ate soup anymore. I still don't like soup too much. Soup is something that was always reminding me about certain things that was done to the people in the camp. I worked in Auschwitz for about 6 months in the kitchen. I worked regular in work and carrying the bags, and then for some reason, by me lifting everything so much, my third vertebrae went out of my back, and I couldn't stand up too good. And a woman came out of nowhere with a sheet in her hand. And she says, I'm here to help you fix your back. She said, your friend had called me and have you that I should come and help you back. And I said, what do I have a friend? But I didn't question it too much. I needed the help. She laid me down and she popped my bag back in place and wrapped me up and told the girl to keep an eye on me. And she put her hand on my shoulder and she left. And she said, you should not have no pain no more. Till today, my body is as perfect as can be. My feet, my knees hurt, but not my body. She left. I didn't even have a chance to tell her thank you. And I never saw her again. And I forgot all about it, what has happened. Till later in life, it must have been I was in my early 30s, 40s, something happened. Oh, I remembered again when I had breast cancer. And I was put in that machine that shows your body is perfect or not. And when they put me through that machine, they find my third vertebrae was knotted. And the doctor was very alert. And she came out and they asked me, what happened to you with your third vertebrae? And I said, nothing. I don't know. She said, there's a knot there. And with cancer, every knot is very important. And I couldn't remember nothing. And then I drove away. And I think an hour later, as I was driving, sudden it came to me. I said, oh my vertebrae was out. And that's how I remembered it again. So far, I'm okay. I keep on doing everything. And next time I will tape again, I will tell you from here. And now I think I'm going to wait and sit down and have a cup of coffee and send you all my blessing. Thank you.
Thank you, Rosa Blum, for sharing stories from the Holocaust, from Auschwitz, what you have gone through. And you today set such an incredible example for so many. Thank you, Rosa Blum.
Thanks for listening to Straight Talk with your host, Patty Foster. Patty is a motivational speaker, writer, musician, and has an amazing testimony of God's faithfulness. For more information, log on to www.pattyfoster.com.